Today, I'm going to show you what cards you guys need to be drafting in order to go 10-0 in Battle Royale. Now, this video will just be talking about live series cards. There are a ton of cards to go through. If you guys want to see a video about some other cards, maybe some flashbacks, even program cards, comment down below and maybe we'll make a video about that as well. So what we're going to do talking today, every position we're going to go through for all the live series stuff. Diamond all the way down to bronze. I'm going to go ahead and skip over the common. If you guys missed my guide on how to go 10-0, that linked up top, or you guys can go back and watch that first. But common rounds don't really matter. All they really are your lower tiered starting pitchers and or some speed guys off your bench. So we're not going to talk about any common rounds. Now, some people might ask, what makes a good pick? Why do we choose certain cards over other cards? There are some pretty simple factors looking at a lot of these cards. Their attributes, maybe their pitch mix, maybe even their swing type. I've been playing this game for a very, very long time. So a lot of these live series cards I've used over the course of maybe 6 to 7 years of playing Diamond Dynasty. So I know what cards you guys should be taking and what cards you guys shouldn't be taking. If this video does help you guys out, please hit the like button for me and subscribe with notifications turned on. If you guys have any comments down below about cards you guys like to choose or cards that I missed, please comment that as well. But without further ado, let's start with our starting pitchers. If you saw my 10-0 video, you guys know we are never going to take Diamond starting pitchers. It is not worth the pick, and or closers, relievers, any of them, because all you guys can use them for are maybe 3 games out of the 10 that you guys are actually playing a full run of. It's just not worth it. You want a Diamond hitter instead. So we're going to go ahead and go over all the Diamond cards because we're not even going to use them. And I know you guys see Shohei right here. The two-way glitch is gone, so you guys cannot use them anymore. Let's go ahead and get to our gold rounds. Now, I try not to take gold round for starting pitching, but sometimes you kind of get put in those instances where you need to take them. What we're looking for our pitchers: sinkers, cutters, maybe some good breaks, some good velocity, obviously hits per 9 and Ks per 9. Zach Gallen, Aaron Nola, both guys that have sinker. I think Gallen only has a cutter. Pablo Lopez, sinker, cutter. Corbin Burns, sinker and cutter. They are also supercharged as well, so they're playing way above their attributes. Nobody else, and right here, I guess you can use Sonny Gray if you want to. He does have the sinker and cutter as well. Tariq, he only has the sinker, but he does throw really, really funky. You guys will hear us a ton. I will say these guys have weird deliveries. They have a good swing, so just be ready to hear that quite a bit. Another guy, Jesus Luzardo, has that sinker and cutter. Pretty good velo, because velo at 99, break at 95 as well. Chris Sale does throw weird, but I don't really like taking him. Joe Musgrove, usually sinker cutter guy. Kodai Senga, if you guys don't know, he kind of has like a little bit of a glitch release when he lets go of the ball, so he can be a good guy to use as well. Miro Kelly is one of my favorite cards to actually use too. Sinker cutter, again, I'm going to keep saying that. Using quite a bit in Battle Royale. Now, it looks like a 4.5 ERA is not good. I promise you in Battle Royale, it's pretty damn good. Other than that, we will probably go through all of our silver rounds right here. AJ Puck, again, a guy that throws kind of weird. He does have that sinker too. Jordan Montgomery, usually as a sinker and cutter, was one of my favorite cards used last year. Zach Eflin, another sinker cutter guy. We're also looking at the walks per 9. If you guys see someone like Zach Eflin, who's got 92 walks per 9, and maybe not the highest velo, those pars are going to be really, really small when you guys are throwing at them, so Zach Eflin is a great guy to use as well. Another of my favorite silver cards to use is Aaron Savale, sinker, the cutter. His break is at 90 as well, and usually has really, really small pars, so again, another great guy to use. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Garrett Whitlock as well. Again, his attributes might not look that great. He does have the velocity and break, but for some reason, he's got kind of a weird release point, and his pars are really small, so his velocity, his break, and his sinker are very, very good. In years past, you have somebody like Yu Darvish. Unfortunately, this year he has no cutter, which kind of sucks a little bit. You could still use him. He's not going to be bad at all. Again, the velocity and break are still very good. I really wish that cutter, so you can really tunnel the pitcher very well with him, but still can be a usable silver card here. Moving along to Michael King. He's a starting pitcher for the Padres. I know he was a relief pitcher for the Yankees and also was a starting pitcher as well. He throws absolutely funky this year. I don't know what it is about his release point, but it is really, really crazy. So another great guy. Chris Bassett, one of my favorite starting pitchers, especially for all the silvers of all time. Sinker cutter. He throws really, really weird, and his pars are super small. One of my favorite lefties to draft, Ranger Suarez. Again, you guys know it. Sinker cutter, really, really good break. Eduardo Rodriguez was always a great card in years past as well. Moving along to Dustin May. Again, a guy that just throws really, really weird. Something about Dustin May's hair, it bounces when he throws, and it throws me off every time I'm playing. He does have 99 velocity and 99 break. Another card I really, really love is Kyle Gibson as well. Again, his velocity is not very high, but his walks run are decently high, so his pars will be very, very small. I've always loved a guy like Marcus Stroman as well. He was actually, coincidentally, probably my best starting pitcher last year. I think I had like a 2-something ERA with him with maybe 60 innings thrown in Battle Royale. That's absolutely crazy. Again, the pitch mix is great. One thing I do not love about his pitch mix, though, is it doesn't have a four-seam fastball. You really can't elevate anything without having that, so that kind of sucks, but still Marcus Stroman is very good. Moving along to some of our bronze starters. Now, this will most likely be a lot of your starting pitchers. You will get some silver starters in there, but we usually try to reserve some of these bronze cards for our starting pitching. Chase Silseth, we have Garrett Crochet, throws very hard as a lefty. Michael Lorenzen, again, he's got the sinker. No cutter this year, which really stinks. But again, the break, the velocity are very, very good on him. We've also got Charlie Morton, sinker and cutter. Something like Kyle Wright was really good. I'm pretty sure he's on the Braves last year. He just throws really weird. Again, the velocity at 95, break at 99. Very, very good. Lance Lynn does have the sinker and cutter, but not a guy I'd probably use. He is very, very readable. Reese Olson, some guys that have the primary slider are always kind of tough to hit as well. Got good velocity, good break, has that sinker as well. So a great, great pick right here. A good lefty, Cole Reagans. Hopefully I'm saying that right, or Regans. I'm not sure how you say his last name. He does throw really funky. He does have a cutter, so a great, great lefty to take right here. Moving along to somebody like Tanner Houck. He has that primary slider pitch, which again is very, very good. The 99 break. Has a sinker. He's one of my favorite cards used. I think he's even got him to a gold at one point in his career, if I remember correctly. But again, another guy you guys want to be looking for. Now, one of my favorite pitchers in years past has been Javier Assad. He doesn't really have the same release point he had last year, which made him really good. Again, the sinker cutter, he's got a really good break, but a guy shouldn't be afraid to take, but I wish that he had the release point that he's had in years past. We've got somebody like Paul Blackburn, again, sinker cutter, break at 99. His velocity is pretty low, and he's got decent walks around. His pars are tiny, so the ball will go exactly where you put it. I know you guys have seen him. Matt Waldron probably is the best bronze pitcher to take. He's a little bit cheesy, but if you guys do get him, don't be afraid to take him. He's got the knuckleball, the sinker, he's got the cutter as well. Just a crazy pitch mix. He did get nerfed this last patch, but he still should be very good for Battle Royale. Another guy I've loved in years past, but kind of got a little bit of a nerf this year is Graham Ashcraft, or Croft. I'm not sure how he goes about it. 99 velocity, 99 break. The only problem with him this year is only has a cutter, slider, and a sinker. In years past, I'm pretty sure he had a fastball and a changeup as well. He could still be a pretty good card to use, but unfortunately, he just isn't as good as he has been. Moving along to our relief pitchers. Now, there are only 3 Live Series Diamonds that are relief pitchers. They are good within themselves. If you guys have to take them, you guys can. Sometimes you get some crappy diamond rounds, you kind of get stuck with them. Again, I would try not to take them. Johan Duran, always great. He's got the 4-seam splitter and 12-6 curve. His pitch mix isn't as great, but he does throw funky. He throws very hard. He's got a lot of break and a lot of pitching clutch. 111 pitching clutch is absolutely insane. Another guy's very good, Evan Phillips. Again, sinker cutter, velocity is good, break's good, hits from 9 km/h are good as well. We got somebody like Devin Williams. Again, he's only got 3 pitches, but he's very, very usable. Someone that had a major nerf this year, Jose Alvarado, man. He used to be probably the best gold lefty to use in any draft. He's got a sinker, cutter, and a fastball, so he only has fastball variations this year, unfortunately. Years past, he did have a curveball as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that anymore. Still should be very usable in Battle Royale, though. I don't mind guys like Kenley Jansen, Ryan Pressey, and Emmanuel Clase. They're not my favorites to choose, but again, if you guys get stuck in a round where you don't have anybody to choose, they're not bad at all. Moving to our last gold round, we have Camilo Duvall. Again, a slider, sinker, and cutter guy, but the velocity is 99, the breaks at 99. He throws kind of weird, too. He's a guy I usually like to take. Again, the gold rounds are kind of a little bit weird this year. They don't really have great gold relievers, so I try to stay away from them, but Camilo Duvall could work. Now, this is where the bulk of the video is probably going to be because a lot of relief pitchers are left here. Again, we have like 30 pages of relief pitchers, and there are a ton of them you guys can use. Jose Leclerc finally got rid of the pinpoint issue, so he's very good. Chris Martin, one of my favorite guys of all time to use. He's got a great pitch mix. His walks around are great. His pitching clutch is great. Velocity is good. He's actually playing up today as well. Hits for 9 km/h are pretty good. One of my favorite cards to use. Another guy I use quite a bit, Clay Holmes. 4-seam fastball, sinker, slider, slurve. The slurve is a little bit weird, but he can be very, very good. Really good attributes as well. TJ Antone's been a guy I've used in the past as well. Matt Strahm this year has a sinker and a cutter, which makes him very, very good. And he's lefty, so lefties are always a premium. Remember, lefties are a big premium in this game. You guys want them. Taylor Rogers has a sinker and a cutter this year with a slurve. Has kind of a glitch release point as well, so always a good card to use. Phil Maton's always been one of my favorite cards used in the past. They kind of nerfed his pitch mix this year, but the break is really good. If you use the fastball off of the slurve or the sweep and curve, he'll be very, very good. One of my favorite silver relievers, Adbert Alzaloy. Hopefully I said that right. He's got a sinker cutter, primary pitch as a slider. Walks around very good, velocity is very good. Just a guy you definitely want to use on our team. You guys probably already know about Chapman. I don't need to say much about him. You guys know he's been very, very good for many years. Griffin Jack's got the sinker and cutter this year. Again, a very good card. Yander Cano throws very weird. Sinker, he's got a great stuff. Joel Payamps. I murdered that name. I know I did. His primary pitcher is a slider, which is very good. Bruce Dar, again, another guy you guys have seen in years past that have been very good as well. Moving along to Hector Neris. Now, for whatever reason, Hector Neris had like the worst pitch mix for like 2 years, and now the last 2 years he's been very good. One of my favorite cards to use. Robert Suarez is kind of an up and down guy. I've hated him in years past. He does have a sinker and a cutter this year. Still don't really love him, but he's a guy you guys can take. Caleb Thielbar. Man, the nerf is huge on him. He used to have a nice little changeup. No more changeup, just got a slurve and a 12-6 curve and a slider. So essentially 3 breaking pitches, which kind of sucks. I wish he had that changeup still because it worked really well off his fastball. Still a lefty, so probably a guy you'd want to use. Moving along, we have Jorge Lopez and Brock Stewart. Good pitch misses. They kind of throw a little bit funky as well, so not bad picks at all. Matt Brash had a huge step up this year. The sinker and the cutter. Obviously, again, I keep saying it. You guys keep hearing it. The sinker cutter is king in this game. Steven Okert as a lefty, one of my favorite cards to use of years past. Still should be good this year. Sharon Armstrong, a guy again. Sinker cutter, very good. Tyler Wells only has straight pitches. Actually, he does have a cutter this year, which is really nice. In years past, he had a really glitched release, so Tyler Wells is always a guy I like to look into. Brooks Raley, probably one of, if not the best left-handed reliever. Slurve, sinker, cutter, and a circle change. Pars are tiny, so the ball goes exactly where you put it. We also have somebody like Jonathan Loaizaga, sinker. He's just very good. One of my favorites last year, Jesse Chavez. Again, sinker, cutter. The ball goes exact where you put him, so he's very good. Dylan Tate, kind of an underrated guy. One of my favorites. Again, I keep saying that, but I feel like, you know, he's one of the best guys as well. Not a great pitch mix, but I promise you the velocity and break make him very good. AJ Minter, a very highly sought-after left-handed reliever, especially in the silver category. Four-seam fastball, cutter, or circle change. Use the four-seam fastball off the cutter, and you drop down a circle change. The tunneling is impressive. He's very good. Nick Santa was a good guy last year. He had some pretty good clutch. So Anthony Dominguez is, again, a little decent of a card there too. Yimmy's always been an up and down guy to use. I've always liked him, but he can kind of be tough to control sometimes. Now rolling through our bronzes here. Jojo Romero, sinker, cutter guy. Again, lefty with a 99 velocity. Very good to take. Gabe Spire was somebody I've always loved in years past. I haven't really seen him yet this year, unfortunately. John Schreiber, a guy that throws very funky. Gregory Sogo, Andrew Chafin, lefties you guys want to have on your team. Mark Leiter got a huge buff this year with the sinker and the cutter. A lot of break, pretty good. Hits per 9 and Ks per 9 as well. Anthony Bender, one of my favorite all-time guys to use. Really small pars. You got somebody like Justin Topa or Tapa. I'm not sure he says his last name. Sinker cutter, very weird release point this year. Like crazy release point. You definitely need him. Dylan Lee's always been a favorite lefty of mine as well. Really small pars. A really good lefty, Tyler Holton as well. Sinker cutter guy, great hits for 9, great break as well. Pretty good walk line, really small pars. Jamie Herget, if you ever see him, take him. He's a great opener out of your bullpen. He throws funky, and he just has really good pitch mix. I'm sure you guys, if you guys have been playing Battle Royale for a long time, you guys know about Adam Ottavino. Throws disgusting. He actually has pretty good hits per 9 Ks per 9. Playing down right now, unfortunately. His pitching clutch is at 112, so anybody at second base, it'll take over for his hits per 9. Breaks, obviously crazy. Sinker cutter guy. Great pick. Sam Henches, one of my favorite picks from years past. Penn Murphy as well, guy that throws sidearm. Joe Kelly got a buff to his pitch mix as well, and I think he throws a lot weirder this year. I've seen some clips of him. He throws a little funky. Ryan Thompson, a guy that throws way under, down below. He used to have a cutter. No more cutter, which kind of sucks, but Ryan Thompson, another good pick. We have some really good lefties on this page. Joe Manaply, Hobie Milner, and Sam Maul, all some really good bronze lefties to use. Moving along to Trevor Gott, sinker cutter guy. Jason Foley kind of gave him a little bit of a nerf this year. He used to have a primary slider. Unfortunately, doesn't have that anymore, but he does have a sinker. Velocity is good, breaks very good. Brock Burke, another guy in years past, has been very good. He got a huge nerf, though. The 56 hits per 9 and 52 Ks per 9, not great. Another great lefty, Tim Meza, guy, you know, just been great for years on end. Daniel Bard, another good bronze. I will say his 32 walks run are kind of rough, but if you can control him, he'll be very good for you guys. We have a couple more really good lefty relievers as well. Jalen Beeks, Kyle Nelson kind of throws where they both have cutters, and they both break quite a bit. So very good lefties right here. One of my go-to bronze relievers, Tyler Kinley, man. The velocity is great. The break is great. Primary slider, throws very weird. He will throw off a lot of guys. A guy I really like to open up with. Talking about a buff, Aaron Bummer, man. They gave him like 3 more pitches this year. Velocity is great, break is great, sinker, cutter, and the changeup being so much slower than all of his fastballs, sinker in his four seam, make him a very, very must-have in your bullpen. Could carry an entire run for you guys. Scott Efros, again, another guy I love to use. I think I got him a P5 last year. He was crazy. Moving along to Aaron Loop. You guys have probably used him quite a bit. He kind of get a little bit of a nerf this year. Not as good as he has been in years past. Still is a great pitch mix and a guy I would definitely always draft. We can't talk about lefties without talking about Jake Diekman. Now, his walks run are crazy bad. His velocity and break are great. So, again, another guy will be tough to control, but he throws very weird and will be very good for you guys as long as you can control him. Moving along to our catchers, Adley Rutschman. Great. Will Smith, great. Sean Murphy has really good quirks this year. I could not get it going with him this year for some reason. He just hasn't been great for me. J3 Realmuto always has great quirks. No dead red this year. Kind of sucks. Jonah Heim, again, another great catcher to use. William Contreras, not great against righties, but again, a guy that usually just plays really well to swing. I will say Cal Raleigh is a must-have on your team. Switch hitter, great hitting. I know his power versus lefties isn't fantastic. He didn't have any quirks last year. I guess he has pinch hitter quirk this year, but a great card to use. Danny Jansen, one of my all-time favorite gold catchers. Great power right here. Again, when we're looking at all these hitters now, we're looking at a lot of power from them and some good quirks. Unfortunately, no more dead red this year, but still a very, very usable catcher. Gary Sanchez always has a ton of power, always a great pick. Mitch Garver, they made him better this year, and I've gotten worse with him for some reason. I'm batting 143 with him. I just need to give him probably another run, but again, a guy that I've used in years past has been very, very good. Darno's pretty decent as well. We love Jake Rogers, a lot of power. Salvador Perez got a nerf this year without some of the quirks, but still one of the great swings to use at catcher. There really are no bronze catchers you guys should be using anyways, so we're going to go ahead and skip over those guys. Moving to some of our first basemen. Now, this pick, I tried to avoid using a diamond round on any first baseman. Diamond round should be for your center fielders, your shortstops, guys that like their fielding matters, their hitting matters. Now, obviously, hitting on these guys are always going to be really good. Bryce Harper, Matt Olson, Freddie Freeman, Vlad, Pete all have great power. They're all going to be really good for you. I've always avoided a guy like Paul Goldschmidt. Again, a lot of these gold first basemen I avoid. I don't use them ever because I don't want a gold at first base either. A lot of silver cards are just as good there. We do have Yandy, who is at a supercharge right now. Some of these cards are supercharged, so keep that in mind as you guys are watching this. But a lot of these guys I just don't really ever use. I'm not saying they're not usable. I just don't like a lot of the first basemen that are in these rounds. Some of these guys right here, though, Carlos Santana, switch hitter, always been very good. Joey's been very good years past. Anthony Rizzo as well. CJ Cron, one of my favorite cards to use at first base. This entire section right here is actually kind of crazy. Josh Bell, if you don't know, now you know he's a switch hitter. I know his attributes don't look that great, but one of the guys that just has one of those great swings. Very, very good. Reese Hoskins, again, another guy that just has great attributes, especially for hitting. A lot of these guys are going to suck at fielding, but all you need them for is to hit. Now, there aren't too many bronze guys as well. A lot of the position players I'm going to talk about won't have too many bronze guys to really talk about, unfortunately, because you just don't want to be starting bronze cards in your lineup. You can get a full lineup with a diamond, gold, and silver, so you don't really need them. Joey Gallo's good. Ryan O'Hearn's always been good in years past. Brendan Belton, another guy. We also have Rowdy Tellez, a lot of power there. Moving through this, we do have Ryan Noda, pretty good too. Trey Mancini's always had a really good swing in the years past. Derek Hall's always really good against righties. Bobby Delbeck, he's been better in years past. A good righty to have off your bench. You guys need him. And somebody like Darren Ruff as well. Really good against lefties. A lot of these guys are going to be platoon guys or guys that just pinch off your bench. Moving to our second baseman, one of my favorite picks of all time, Ketel Marte. Now, he does have kind of a weird swing this year. You got to get used to it. I'm not hitting as good as I usually do, like in years past. Got some pretty good quirks as well. But he's always a guy that if you get it going with him, he can play anywhere as well. Just an overall fantastic pick. I've always loved Xander Bogaerts. Great swing. Pretty good fielding. Unfortunately, nerfed some of his quirks. He did lose dead red from last year. I know Luis Urias had dead red last year. Doesn't have any more. His power doesn't look great, but he just gets on base. Again, we're trying to look for guys that have a lot of power. He unfortunately does not, but he does get on base. Glaber's always really good against lefties, has always had pretty good quirks as well. I don't mind a guy like Brandon Drury. He can play anywhere, again, really good against lefties. Ever Julian, one of my favorite cards to use, especially against righties. Really good speed there, which I think is a key thing with him. Obviously, very good against righties, not great against lefties, so maybe not a guy you want to start. Does have great quirks, but he can be a guy who comes to your bench and gets you a base hit or even a run if you need it. We have some great picks on this page. Brandon Lau, one of my favorite second basemen I've been using for years on end, just is great with the power and his bat. Jorge Polanco, again, a guy that kind of got a nerf with his swing this year, but we're still batting 457 with him. One of my favorite second baseman silvers of all time. Luis Rengifo, I'm pretty sure is how you say it. Great against lefties, not great against righties, but he still hits the ball very, very well. If you guys take the gold round for Battle Royale right now, Willie Castro is in that round and is probably the best gold card of all time. He has the same swing on this card, so he should be theoretically just as good, and he has been good in years past. Jorge Mateo got a huge nerf this year, but still a guy I love taking with a lot of speed, can play anywhere as well. And then one of the last guys I've used in years past has always been pretty good is Kevin Biggio. Always really good against righties. Does have that pinch hitter quirk as well. But that is pretty much all of our second basemen. Moving along to our third baseman, Austin Riley. Jose Ramirez is always good. It's going to be kind of weird because in Battle Royale, they change the overalls you guys can draft. I think right now these guys are draftable, but in a couple months, they will not be draftable, some of these diamonds, depending on what their overalls are. Rafael Devers, great card. Been one of my favorites for years. Royce Lewis this year is actually pretty damn good. Has really good quirks. He's got reverse splits, I should say. So he's better against righties, but still a card you guys should very much use. Isaac Paredes, better be saying that right. A lot of quirks this year, man. He got a lot of quirks. I'm at 500 of them. I only have a couple of runs with him, but he's very good. A lot of power. Pretty good fielder too. This is a great page of silvers. Jake Berger just bops, man. He's got 106 power versus lefties. Great swing. Justin Turner, again, another card that's just very good. Moving on to Max Muncy. Just a ton of pop. I know his contact numbers are not great, but I promise you guys his power would take over that. Christopher Morel has always been good in years past as well. A little bit of a nerf this year, but still should be usable. Jamer Candelario is a switch hitter. It's very good too. Ryan McMahon has always been a righty killer. Kind of stinks that he's not good against lefties anymore. He was one of my favorite picks. Unfortunately, just not as great this year. Eugenio Suarez is in the bronze. I think he was a bronze last year. Been really good in years past. Just a really sweet two-handed swing. Another guy, Patrick Wisdom. I know he doesn't look great, and maybe he's not great in real life, but the power numbers play with him. He's got a decent swing as well. Moving along to Yo Moncada. Again, a guy that might not have great attributes, but his swing just plays. He just had a great swing for years on end. Josh Donaldson. Now, this card will not change at all this year. If you guys didn't know, he did retire this last year, which means they can't do anything to his card. And there will be no more future Josh Donaldson cards either this year, unfortunately. So we will not get him back in the game until they get his rights back again. But he's always had a fantastic swing with good power numbers, and he's a great fielder. Some guys that are getting close to the end of their careers, Mike Moustakas. He's been a G for years, man. He's been very good. I know he's been bouncing around quite a bit. Unfortunately, his cards have not been great in years past. We do have a guy like Matt Carpenter as well. Matt Carpenter plays so far above his attributes of the swing. It's actually crazy. Definitely a guy you could even, if you want to start, you could, but definitely a guy you want on your bench. Last, we have a guy like Brad Miller. He's got a ton of pop. He can play everywhere. Now, you probably don't want to start him, but say you get in a pickle and you need someone to go out in the outfield or in the infield, he can play anywhere. Would be a great guy to have at the bench. Moving along to our shortstops. Mookie got a big nerf this year, man. I feel like he just isn't as good. Maybe I just suck with him. He has a really weird swing this year. I've always been very good with Mookie, but unfortunately this year just not great. Corey Seager is hands down the best shortstop in the game right now. He could be the best shortstop in the game the entire year. I know he's at a 90 overall. He's got great quirks. He has a two-handed swing. If you guys have not seen the two-handed swing, it is crazy. It generates so much pop, and he has just got such a quick swing. Francisco Lindor has always been great. Trey Turner has always been great as well. Now, they did do a nerf to Dansby this year. I don't think his swing is as good, and he doesn't have the same quirks, but a guy that I've used in years past that I've really loved. Carlos Correa, another guy that has that two-handed swing that just plays so far above his attributes. I think he's got some, no quirks this year. I thought he had some decent quirks, but I guess not. Again, just a guy that's very good. Ellie De La Cruz, talk about somebody that plays above their attributes. 99 speed as well with some great fielding. I know his attributes don't look great, but man, we're batting 540 with him. His lefty attributes aren't great, but he will be great for you guys, I promise you. There's nothing better than leading off with Ellie De La Cruz. Get that 99 speed on base because it's almost a run every single time. Another guy I've loved in years past is Trevor Story. It looks like he's back to shortstop. He was a second baseman last year. But that will be it for our silvers. JP Crawford, I just have never gotten to go on the swing. He does have some really good quirks this year, so maybe I need to give him a better shot. O'Neal Cruz as a bronze, one of my favorite. I know I'm a Pirates fan. I might be a little bit of a homer here. But if you guys know, he has got terrible fielding. Again, he's supercharged now, so it's a lot better. He's got terrible fielding, but just his body at 6'7", he hits every single ball. Did get a big nerf to speed this year. It was 99 years past. Really, really good against righties. Just one of the best shortstops you guys can draft. Now, probably hands down, my favorite player I've ever used in Battle Royale is Adalberto Mondesi. Looking at his card, you're like, dude, this dude sucks, right? What are you talking about? I promise you guys, if you have never used him, please draft him and give him a shot. He's gotten nerfed over the years tremendously because he just hasn't been playing at all. He's been hurt for a very long time. I think in 2021, he was a 78 or a 79, 99 speed, great fielding. You could actually put him in center field out of position. He'd play better than like primary center fielders. It was kind of crazy. Obviously, he had better hitting attributes. His hitting attributes suck, but I promise you guys, use him. I promise you. If you learned anything from me, Adalberto Mondesi is king in Battle Royale. Now moving to our left fielders, Yordan Alvarez is one of my favorite picks. Unfortunately, he is terrible at fielding. You guys know going into it that he's going to suck at fielding. So I've always got him at DH, but one of the best swings, probably one of the best hitting cards in the game right now, and will continue to be. JD Martinez has always been very, very good as well. Teoscar Hernandez, talk about two-handed swings. One of the best two-handed swings that he has in the game. Great against lefties, great speed, pretty good fielding. Brian Reynolds, again, a guy that's just been good every year. Switch hitting goon. Unfortunately, not great quirks this year, but again, a guy that's very, very good. Another card I love, Brandon Nimmo. He actually got some better reaction this year. He was a primary center fielder last year, which really sucked because his reaction sucked last year, so it was like unusable. Pretty decent this year. Evan Carter, another guy, has a sweet, sweet swing. Taylor Ward can play just about anywhere and can play it very, very well. Yelich has continually gotten nerfed every year, but again, one of the guys who just has continually had one of the best swings in the game. Ian Happ, probably my favorite silver left fielder to draft. Pretty good fielder, pretty good speed. Again, just a guy that plays way above his attributes. I bet 576 with him. I know he's not great against lefties, but promise me, he'll be very good against them. Another guy I loved last year that honestly I never planned on using. I did a theme draft in Battle Royale, and he had a really good clutch, so I took him. Doesn't look great attribute-wise, but again, another guy that's just very, very good. He's got some good quirks this year, too. Great fielder as well. Luke Raley, the reaction kind of stinks out there in left field, but again, another swing that just plays way above his attributes. Moving to some bronze goats in years past, Aaron Hicks has always been very, very good, the switch hitter. Again, these guys are probably not going to be starting on your team. Good guys to have off your bench. Kyle Schwarber sucks at fielding, hits absolute nukes, would be a great guy to have at DH. Chris Taylor, Austin Slater could be some good guys used against lefties, even someone like Connor Joe as well. David Snyder, again, good card to use against lefties. Eloy Jimenez has always had a great swing. Unfortunately, sucks at fielding. So again, a bench bat for you guys, but could be really good in a clutch situation. You've got someone like Jock Peterson, a guy that's got just some great quirks, a great swing. He does have a giant leg kick, so that does throw people off, so just keep aware of that. Mark Canada, again, a guy in years past has been very good. David Peralta, again, I know their attributes don't look good, but if you need somebody to have the bench for you, these guys will do it for you. Now we're to our second to last position. We got our center fielders. All these guys up here are very, very good. If you see them, you guys can draft them. Mike Trout, obviously, is just, I'm at 6-1 with Mike Trout. Very good. Julio's always been really good, too. Someone like Luis Robert, I should be good with him. I don't like his swing, personally. Great attributes. He's got good quirks as well. I just suck with him. I don't know why. I've always been bad with him. So if you guys are with him, you guys can go ahead and take him. Cody Bellinger, always been a G. Tommy Edman got a big nerf this year. I didn't know he was playing center fielder either. Tommy Edman could be good in a pinch. He can play anywhere. Byron Buxton has been a G for years. 786, man. He just bops. He's really good. Reaction kind of sucks, but he should get to every ball tonight. I've always loved Chaz McCormick as well. He's got some really good quirks. Jose Siri's probably my favorite gold center fielder of all time. Again, he was better last year, but still very, very good this year. The speed is great. The fielding's great. The power is great. We bat 571 with him. Again, just a guy you definitely want to have in your outfield. Now, getting to our silver round, Cedric Mullins, always been a very, very good card to use. Adam Duvall, big nerf this year. He was a lot better fielding last year, but still can hit very, very well. Leoto Taveras, again, another guy that's a switch hitter that maybe doesn't look great, but he will be very, very good for you guys. James Outman, Tyrone Taylor, Jarren Duran are always good guys as well. Michael Taylor has some good pop this year. He did have some good pop last year as well, so could be an interesting guy to take. I would not start these guys, but they're definitely picks you guys can get if you guys need to. And then, honestly, moving to the bronze rounds, a lot of these guys just aren't very good. They are good with splits against certain ways. Jason Hayward, a guy that has some good quirks and could field for you guys. This round will probably be a speed round for you guys if you guys do get a bronze center fielder. I definitely would not start any of these guys. But again, a guy you can have off your bench for maybe some speed like Tim LeCastro, or a guy that's just better against a different split. And then lastly, we are to our right fielders. Ronald Acuna Jr. is a fantastic pick. One of the best cards in the game right now. We're batting 570 with him. Fernando. Corbin Carroll actually has a better swing this year, so I'm thankful for that because in years past, he always sucked. Juan Soto has always had one of the best swings in the game. Definitely a guy you want on your team. Nolan Jones is decent, but the problem is his reaction is going to be really, really suspect out there. Really, really good quirks, but again, a guy that you're going to have out there, along with Lane Thomas. Again, these two could be really good, but their fielding is not going to help you guys out. We love our two-handed swings, and George Springer has a two-handed swing this year. They changed that. Not the same quirks as last year, but kind of just all around, kind of looks like just a steady overall player. But I promise you guys, the two-handed swing will take him to the next level. Now, again, probably one of my favorite cards to draft of all time is Anthony Santander. Again, doesn't really look like anything special. His fielding sucks. He doesn't have great speed. He's got pretty good contact, pretty good power numbers. But, dude, he bops. He's a switch hitter. He can also play first base. They added that last year. 565 average with him. He just really is one of those guys you want to have on your team. Really sucks him in the outfield, but I promise you guys, he will give you guys runs in the way that he takes them away in the outfield. So, definitely a guy you want on your team. Kerry Carpenter, another guy that's not great in the outfield, but has that two-handed swing as well. He's very good. Definitely a guy you guys want to be looking at. Andrew McCutchen has been a G for years. Just, I know it might be a homer pick, but I promise you guys he's very good. Hunter Renfroe got a major nerf this year. I suck with him this year. I've always been very good with him, but unfortunately, I'm just not good with him this year. I don't know why. Castellanos, again, another guy that has a two-handed swing, will suck in the outfield, but I promise you guys he will hit for you guys. Charlie Blackmon, another guy that maybe doesn't look great attribute-wise. He's got a really good two-handed lunge swing. It just plays way above his attributes. Tyler O'Neill, again, one of my favorite cards used in years past. A little bit of a nerf this year, but still very, very good. Again, getting down to our bronze rounds, I would not start these guys, but Riley Green has always had a good swing. Really good against righties. Giancarlo Stanton, you guys know Giancarlo Stanton. He bops. He's always been very, very good over there at hitting, not in right field, obviously. Michael Conforto, again, a lefty that has a good swing. Brent Rooker, very good against lefties. Just one of those guys that plays way above his attributes as well. And then we have guys like Robbie Grossman, again, good against lefties, switch hitter. Maybe off the bench for you guys. Mitch Haniger has always been really good in years past. Unfortunately, no dead red this year. A lot of these guys lost dead red, unfortunately. Gavin Sheets, good against righties. Again, these rounds right here are more so for guys that are going to come off the bench, hit for you in a sticky situation. But those are all of our right fielders. So there you guys have it. Those are all the live series players you guys should be drafting every time you guys are trying to go 10-0 in Battle Royale. I try to make this video as short as I could. Sometimes I go over because I'm trying to get you guys the most information that I can. So you guys stay till the end. I love you guys. Thank you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.